Good morning, and another Christmas make ahead recipe today, and today it is braised red cabbage with apples. So the ingredients are really simple. You need a red cabbage that you have cored and sliced. You can slice it as thinly as you like. You need one onion that you have sliced. You need 2 apples that you've cored. Don't need, well, sort of cored. You don't need to peel them, it's fine. And then you're just going to slice them. And you need 2 star anise. Star anise really add the Christmas flavour, but they are optional. The other thing you need is some sort of vinegar. Now in the recipe I say white wine vinegar, but I'm a Wally and I haven't got any white wine vinegar, so I'm going to be using cider vinegar today. You'll also need a little salt and pepper. And in my pressure cooker I have a knob of butter that is just browning. No, it's not brown, it's just melting. So now that's melted, I'm going to add in the onions, and I'm just going to let those sit and saute. This is what you would do in a pan if you were using a pan. You would just saute in the pan. So I'm going to give them a little stir around, and whilst they are sauteing, I am going to leave them there doing their own merry thing, making sure they're getting nicely coated in the butter, and I'm going to slice the apples. The hardest thing with this recipe is not to eat the apples while you're slicing them. Well, it is for me anyway. Again, this is a recipe that can be made on the hob, in the pressure cooker as I am doing, and even once the sauteing is done, it can be made in a slow cooker or an oven, a very low oven. So lots and lots of options with this. Just because I'm using a pressure cooker doesn't mean to say that you have to. That's the apples all sliced. Give these another couple of minutes. So we don't want colouring, so I've got the saute option on my pressure cooker set to medium. I'll be back when we add the apples. That's been around 5 minutes, so now I'm going to add in the apples and again get them coated in the butter. And then they will saute for about 2 minutes. So they're in, I'm mixing them in with the onions and the butter, making sure they get nicely coated. My 2-minute timer is going to go off any second now. There you go, computer, stop. So that's the apples that have had 2 minutes, and you can see I've not allowed anything to brown. We don't want it to brown, we just want it to coat in all the lovely butter. So now we go in with the main ingredient, colour of Christmas, the red cabbage. It looks an awful lot, but as you all know, cabbage does break down quite considerably on cooking. So I'm just tossing it round to ensure that that's got a nice buttery coating and everything is mixed in. So I'm now going in with my star anise. Please remember to take those out before serving. Nobody wants to bite down on a star anise. A, I don't think it tastes particularly good like that, and B, it could crack a tooth. So I'm just going to turn my saute up to high, just for a second or two. Now those of you who are doing it in a pressure cooker, you might worry that there's not going to be enough liquid in here, but I am going to add a splash of water too. And also what we need to remember is that all of these vegetables and the apples too will release liquid as they cook. So go in with a healthy amount of salt and some black pepper. Again, as I always say, taste when it's cooked. You can always add. It's far more difficult to take out. So right now, you can hear, I hope, that that's got higher and that's cooking away. So I am going to go in. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to use a cider vinegar. I'm going to go in with some balsamic vinegar. So a decent splodge. Right, can you hear that hitting? Wow, the smell of that is lovely. That combined with the star anise will be absolutely beautiful. Stop! What did I forget? I forgot brown sugar, because you do want a little sweetness. So you add brown sugar to taste. So I'm adding a dessert spoonful and a half of brown sugar to my mix. Now I need to get that through. I was thinking I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten? But boy, I couldn't remember. What a wally, eh? But at least I remembered now. Okay, so that's all beautifully mixed together. Now there isn't enough water. I would get a burn notice. Liquid rather. I would get a burn notice if I tried to pressure cooker that. So I am adding a splash of water. May add a little bit more. There is some in there. Right, there we go. So I'm adding water. Now I'm going to pop on the lid, the pressure cooker lid. Doing this backwards is always fun. There we go. I am moving the vent to make sure it is set to close. I'm cancelling the saute, and now we're going to pressure cook. So we need to select pressure, high, and we want it for about, well, I've not actually done it in this one before, but I'm going to go for 25 minutes. Okay, so that's it, that's set, and press start, and that's it. Now it's at that point that you would transfer it into a slow cooker, put the lid on and leave it for 4 to 6 hours. You would also leave it on the hob with the lid on for an hour and a half. If you were going to do it in the oven, again, about a 160 oven for about 3 or 4 hours, but lid on, because you don't want everything evaporating. You need that steam. So we shall come back in about half an hour and we'll have a look at this red cabbage. Well, who's a silly Billy? It's a Christmas video and I forgot to put on my t-shirt, so we've amended it and I'm an elf. So the pressure cooker has finished. I am just going to release the remaining pressure in here. Hopefully it won't take too long, and then we'll be able to see the red cabbage. Have to wait until the valve drops down, and that means that all of the steam is out. Obviously on the hob, once your hour and a half is up, you can just remove the lid, but do it carefully. Nobody wants to get scalded. Oh, come on. When I take the lid off, you'll probably be amazed at the amount of liquid that is actually in the pressure cooker. You saw how little I put in there. And I'm just helping it out a bit. There we go. Now I should be able to now release the lid. There we go. Turn it, lift away from me because it's dangerous. Okay, that's that off. And there you go. Can you see the amount of liquid that is there? It's quite incredible, really. So I will put this into a dish. I will go through it and take out the star anise. That one. One down, one to go. Switch off the pressure cooker because it's just, oh, there's the other one. It's just in keep warm mode. And there we have braised red cabbage with apples, perfect with any dinner, but especially delicious with a Christmas dinner. I will let this cool, then I will portion it. Steve's not keen, so this is probably a good 4 portions for me. And I only used half of a large red cabbage. Now the red cabbage I bought was 98p, so we'll say another 30p for the apples, that's 128. 15p for the what was it called, onion, 143. Everything else I had in the cupboard, so for less than £1.50 I've got, well, way less because I only used half the cabbage, so for less than £1, for around £1, I have 4 portions of red cabbage with apples. I don't actually know how much it costs in the shops because I never look at it because I make my own, but I would imagine it costs more than £1 for 4. So give it a go. Obviously doing it yourself, you can choose your own flavours. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye bye.